G'day everyone, Pep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Tuesday the 4th of December 2018 and the time here is 1700 hours Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, sorry about posting at the unusual time. The reason for that is my son is now off school and he's at that age where he sleeps in till 2 o'clock every day, so I can't use his bedroom much anymore. And as you know, we're renovating, so this is one of the few rooms in the house that's actually finished and I can actually sit in comfortably. Right, I have a surprise for you guys. I ran into my sponsor the other day, who is, as you know, Totally Rawsome, and Jason gave me this the other day, which is what it is protein balls, folks. Honestly, and I'm not shitting you here, this is the protein balls. They're turmeric protein balls, or turmeric as you guys say. I was always brought up call it turmeric. Look, I'm not kidding. I'm not saying this because he gave them to me. These are, without doubt, the best protein balls I've ever. I was going to swear them, but I decided not to. These are the best protein balls I've ever eaten in my life, and I'm not shitting you. I can't even make it up. They are so damn good, it's unbelievable. What happens is you actually get them. They actually come in the bottle. And you actually have to make up the ingredient. It's all layered. How they do it is phenomenal, by the way. My daughter made these, so you know, no good giving them to me to bloody make. She made them, and they are so easy to make. It's unbelievable, and they are incredible. And I spoke to Jason as well about, you know, like, is he getting any business out of, you know, me promoting them? And I'm happy to tell you guys that he's, you know, gone gangbusters because of you guys ordering stuff. And there's even a bloke, whoever you are, mate, I don't know, but there's some guy who owns a concrete company, and he started using it, and now every day he buys enough for his concreters, and every day they have, this is funny, they have turmeric lattes every day. And you know, they're concreters, they work on their knees and they bend on their knees all the time, and they are now feeling so much better because of this stuff. Like I said folks, this product is unbelievable. You have to try it. Totally Rawsome, right? This is their website. I'll leave the link for you. They've got so many good products, guys. Like I said, I'm even giving it to my dog now, and he's been much better since I've been giving it to him as well. They actually make a product for dogs, which I didn't know until the other day. It's got less ginger in it. I've asked Jason to come on the show so he can actually, you know, talk to you guys about the product, etc. And he's going to do that in the next week or so. So, you know, watch this space. All right. Loads going on, and loads going on that affects you and affects me. Did you know that Deutsche Bank's offices was raided in in consecutive days? Look, I said before, Deutsche Bank won't be let fail. They will bust and break apart other banks, excuse me, before they let Deutsche Bank fail. And there's a reason for that, and that's because Deutsche Bank is so corrupt that it would be virtually impossible. You'd have to take down a lot of players to take Deutsche Bank out. I hope you all understand it. Now there's one other reason that they can take there's one other reason that they could take Deutsche Bank out, and that is if the scales of power have shifted. And by that I mean that the central banks of the world are no longer in control. So I take the raids with a grain of salt at the moment, because you know, you hear about this stuff all the time. But to raid Deutsche Bank's offices is a big deal because of the corruption in Deutsche Bank. Now, you know, it's like the mafia sort of thing, isn't it? You know, oh mate, we're coming to raid your offices in 2 hours, get rid of everything, blah blah blah. Or they didn't do that and they raided them officially. Now, look, Deutsche Bank is dead flat broke. There's no two ways about it. But Deutsche Bank is the #1 bank around the world for everything. Forget about Barclays and HSBC and all those. They are the #1 player. So if they go down or something unscrupulous happens, they are in front of it. Now, well, why would they raid their offices then? Like I said, you've got two choices. One, the balance of power has shifted and they are going to take them down, and everyone involved with it. Oh, excuse me folks, I'm not meaning to yawn because it's just that I'm feeling a bit with my illness at the moment. I had to take all day yesterday in bed, so I'm feeling a bit knocked around at the moment. So that's the other option. There's only two options. One, it's all a furphy, that's the word. Or two, they're dead set serious. So I know that doesn't leave you with much, does it? But if they're raiding Deutsche Bank's offices in seriousness, and what I mean is the balance of power has shifted, then that's a big deal. That is a big deal. Okay, I wanted to show you this. The Australian government, because of, now you have to understand this to believe this, the Australian government is now going to take away every citizen in this country's rights away from them, privacy rights, because of a couple of ragheads who want to blow up people and kill people in the streets. So because of the fact that we've got Muslims running around here who want to kill everybody, well, now they're saying WhatsApp's evil and any other encrypted service that you belong to is evil. Oh, by the way, I now have a VPN after much searching and everything else. And thank you to everyone, and especially Richie, who sent me in the information on that. I took a long time picking the one that I wanted. I was actually going to go with, you know, the usual ones that are on TV and everything else. I didn't do that. I nearly did until I got this email. And then I read it. You know, it's a long story, but this man has done a lot of research on it, and I actually did a lot of research on it, and I came up with the best one. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I now have a VPN. I will now be answering emails, etc., because I have the VPN. So thank you for that. Going back to this. So the Australian government has decided that we're all terrorists, and we need to be protected from the terrorists, and the only way for us to be protected from the terrorists is to take away your human rights of secrecy and privacy. I'm being serious. You can't make this shit up. That's how they've decided that, because of a couple of ragheads that they brought here, that we never wanted here, that now we have to lose all our privacy laws. That's what this is about. No more WhatsApp. Then not only are they trying to get rid of WhatsApp, but they're trying to get rid of every piece of secrecy that's involved in any phones, any computer services, everything. So, you know, you really have to read this to believe it, folks. These people are serious. You know, they think that they're doing us a favour. And of course, You know what's going to happen if people say, well, no. Did you know that they passed a law recently that if you're going through customs, airport customs here in Australia, domestic or international, and a Border Force agent comes up to you and asks you to show you your phone and all your details on your phone, if you say no, it's instant arrest. Did you know that? They passed a law recently and didn't tell anyone. If a Border Force agent walks up to you and says, I want to see your phone, your mobile phone and everything in it, and you say no, get fucked, or just no, you've got to be kidding, they will arrest you on the spot, take you into the little room and fine you. I think the standing fine was $1,000, something stupid like that. Yeah, you know what? I just can't. What are we leaving our kids, guys? Seriously, what world are we leaving our kids if we don't stand up to this shit soon? The mobile, WhatsApp and etc. Blah blah blah. I don't want the government looking at everything that I do. That's why I went and got a VPN. I don't want them looking at my mobiles. Piss off. Apparently they're bringing into law that you have to give it to the police as well, if the police ask you for it. So that's not federal police, or that's any police, state police, etc. Can you imagine? You get pulled up and they go, the first thing they ask you is, you were speeding, show me your mobile. Is nothing sacred anymore? So you have to ask, isn't it easier to just deport all the Muslims and all the ragheads or any other dickhead who wants to actually be a pain in our ass and doesn't want to fit into society? See ya. No more problem. I don't mean to speak like that, but I've got to be honest. Isn't that the easier solution here than me losing all my rights as a human being? I didn't bring all the Muslims here. I didn't bring the terrorists here. And before anyone says anything that I'm being racist or whatever else, I don't see any Chinese people running around blowing people up, or Greeks, or Italians, or Australians for that matter. White Anglo-Saxons, WASP, we're apparently called. Fraser Anning said it the other day. Not every Muslim's a terrorist, but all terrorists are Muslims, unfortunately. And the Muslim society is not going to do anything to change it. Nothing. Big fat zero. Because it's like being in the mafia. They will not dob in their own. Simple as that, folks. Simple as that. So, because we're being deemed to be, at danger, then we have to lose all our rights as citizens. Like I said, you cannot make this shit up, folks. It's gotten to the point where it's just ridiculous. This was the info about the Deutsche Bank raids if you wanted to look into it. I'm not going to play it here. That's more of the raid stuff there. I was going to open it up, but look, it's not necessary. You don't really want to see it anyway. If you want to chase it up, what you need to know is, like I said, there's only two reasons for it. One, it's all a big, or two, it's a really big deal. The balance of power has shifted, I will give it that. Let's talk about China blinking, and what I mean by that is, at the G20, China agreed with Trump as regards to tariff. Excuse me. So Trump won. China blinked and said, we can't do this anymore. Why did China blink? Well, there's a couple of reasons, because I reckon that the US would have said to China and Russia, by the way, listen, we're the dog here, we're not the tail. So you two can keep doing this shit where you keep, chasing your tails and pissing us off. But at the end of the day, if you really want to get serious, we've got more bombs, we've got more tanks, we've got more planes, we've got, triple the amount of everything you've got. So bring it on. It will be very, very interesting in the coming weeks, if not, say, the next 3 months, to see what China does with this South China Sea stuff. Because I reckon they've been given the word, folks. Buck up or piss off. Now, before everyone goes on about all this Chinese stuff and, American, China needs America a lot more than America needs China. Don't kid yourself that it's not the other way around. US doesn't need China at all, and that's been proven by Trump using these tariffs on the Chinese. Chinese production, by the way, did you know this, has dropped to something like 65%, because people in America are buying American now and around the world. Like, I'm sick to death of Chinese shit. I don't know about you guys. I cannot use anything anymore that lasts any more than a month. Everything's shit. I read somewhere where the Chinese actually work on a return rate of 75%. So they're making profit on 25%. How can you do that? It's just, and the only reason you can do that is because you're obviously paying people a bowl of rice a day, for want of a better term. So if you've got Trump saying, no, everything you're bringing in, we're putting a 40 or 60% tariff on it, well, that's going to hurt the Chinese government massively. Because don't forget, they're a dictatorship. No matter what everybody says, they're a dictatorship. And it's all about the mullahs. So, and Trump knows this. So if you get to the point where you're not getting anything from China and China's not making anything anymore, blah, 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 well, that's only going to lead to a rebellion in China. The people are only going to put up with that for so long. Hey, you told us the good times were here, we all shifted into the cities, where's all our food? Hey, you told us the good times were here, where's all our free medicine? Hey, you shifted us in here, you look after us. That's the only problem with communism. Oh, there's a lot of other problems with communism, not the only problem, but obviously, but the cog has to keep turning. The cog doesn't turn. You have to keep people fed, you have to keep people happy in some regard, etc., etc. So you turn off that switch like Trump did, it'll be all at the beginning, oh, bravo, blah, 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 we're not going to put up with these tariffs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 6-12 months down the track, you're shitting yourself because your country's going to start erupting into riots because you're not fair, you haven't got work for people, you're laying people off, etc., etc. Well, the Communist Party is the actual boss company party, if you know what I mean. So they would be shitting themselves, folks. And they blinked. And they're going to blink a lot more, folks. And they will be pissed off, don't you believe? Don't you think they won't be? They will be super pissed off that they had to blink. So you'll see this report soon that, we gave Trump what he wanted, but, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not the truth, because Trump's going to keep ramming into the ground and they are going to have to submit. It's as simple as that. And Russia, everyone goes on about Russia. Well, Russia's economy is similar to Texas. That gives you an idea of just how big their economy is. They're running a great economy, I will give it that. If you look at all the scales of comparison and the graphs, they're running a fantastic economy. But, you know, let's not kid ourselves. It's nothing compared to America. America's number one. It always has been and it always will be. Because, and it's interesting, you know, if you sit back in a business perspective, you know, China's going to be bigger than America by 2020. How? Do you know how many people they would have to bring up into their middle class to make them just as big as America? And once you get people that are educated and they get into that middle class section, after a while, those people want more rights. That's how this plays out. Look what happened in Russia. Eventually you get a middle class. The middle class goes, well, we're not living like that anymore. That's shit. And eventually they move to the next phase, which is a similar environment as the rest of the world. Full of lying, low-life scumbag politicians, which is funny, isn't it? So what's better, communism or what we've got at the moment, similar in Australia? A bunch of low-life scumbag politicians who don't want to listen to, and this is my whole point, they don't want to listen to the general public, and they particularly don't want to listen to white conservative males, who are the majority, and females, by the way. So watch this space. It ain't getting any better in China. It's going to get a lot worse. Trump, they all know that. The South China Sea thing is going to finish with a big, either the Americans forcing the Chinese off, saying piss off, or B-252 stealth bombers flying over at gazillion miles up in the stratosphere and dropping bombs that just ignite the whole place up. And, you know, the rhetoric will be, you bombed our islands. Well, no, they're not, because you dredged the coral and made the islands and you're not even supposed to be there. Here, look, the UN passed a resolution that said so. You can't make it up, folks. You can't make it up. And folks, before we go to the prayers, someone asked me about, you know, why I'm so flippant about QAnon. Well, look, as far as I remember, and I do watch Stroppy Me, look, I've always said it's theatre. It's just another form of theatre. Who the hell is it? I don't know. Am I interested? Yeah, kinda. I keep up to date with it, but I don't do anything on it because there's so many people doing something on it. And if you want my honest opinion, Stroppy Me is the only person who gives 100% perfect readings on it. Why? Because he doesn't bullshit and he doesn't go on about what he doesn't hypothesize about what he thinks it is. He just tells you straight as it is, which is exactly what Q's told everyone from start. You know, use your own brain, figure it out. And Stroppy Me does a perfect job of that. My only problem with it is like I said, it's all theatre. And as far as I can tell, he has not hit one date ever for a big boom, 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 and all this sort of crap. Well, I haven't seen him hit one date ever, and I'm kind of lost interest. Tomorrow's the 5th. I know it's the 4th for you in America, but tomorrow's the 5th, and I want to see fucking fireworks tomorrow for me to believe it. You know, I want to see Hillary Clinton in an orange jumpsuit tomorrow on the 5th. You know, they're making up excuses already. Oh, you know, George W. Bush died and his funeral's going to be on the 5th, etc., etc. Well, I don't give a shit. There needs to be something now, because this has gone on long enough. That's my honest opinion. That's why I don't do Q. Okay, let's do the prayers, folks. Verse of the day. Dispute over Jesus' testimony. When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Fantastic. Let me read that again. Verse of the day. Dispute over Jesus' testimony. When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Brilliant. And as always, folks, we'll finish with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Alright folks, as I said, I've got the VPN now, so I will be responding to emails. And it's now time to start talking about this Melbourne meeting again. Unfortunately, because of everything that's happened, it won't happen before Christmas, unless a major miracle happens. Flights will be expensive, etc. So we'll try and aim between New Year and Aussie Day. That might be the best. Somewhere in between there would be the best, I would reckon. Anyway, folks, God bless. Prep out.